Hello everyone, as you might know, I've built a lot of cars in Trailmakers, but in this video I'm finally building the Aston Martin Valkyrie, which is the world's fastest track-focused production car. And then I'm gonna be racing it on the Grand Prix circuit to see just how fast I can go. So yeah, basically if you don't know, the Aston Martin Valkyrie is like one of the fastest, if not the fastest production car, if you like count how fast it takes for it to like do a lap around the track. And this is a car that I've wanted to build for quite a while, but as you can see, its shape is extremely complicated, so I wasn't sure if I'd be able to build it in Trailmakers in a way where it still has very high performance. However, I figured that if I'm able to build the front of the car, I can figure out how to build the rest of the car, because that's usually the most challenging part to build. And so this is the front that I ended up coming up with. So I did change it later a little, but basically the basic idea why it works is because it has the little fins at the front that would give it like a lot of downforce through active aero. Now I'm gonna start working on the rest of the car, and if you kind of look at the side of one of these, they're very interesting, basically a very unique shape where the side is kind of like this line. It's very like thin kind of line on the side, and for now I'm just gonna use the regular like gray color because I think it makes it like the easiest to see like the shape. Okay, so here's where I'm at so far with the side, and I think some of the shapes are good, but the main thing I don't love is I think like on the real one this part is like pretty sloped, so I might want to try to like slope this part to replicate that, because right now this line kind of just looks way too straight. I think it could be interesting. The only thing is that the angle is too much. I have it set to the lowest angle of 5, but I think it's still too much. So what I will do, if I use a separate logic gate for this block, and instead of 1 I put on like 0.5, I can make the angle even smaller. Okay, so here's what it looks like so far. I think I will keep it this way because I do like how it looks, but the only thing I'm worried about is it might make it pretty difficult to build the rest of the car, because I would have to like make sure nothing connects to there that's not supposed to. Okay, so here I've started building out more of the car, and you can see it's like sparking, so something's colliding wrong. And this is which kind of sucks about, you know, using glitches like that. When you angle a big part, it like does different like weld groups or whatever, and you can start getting bad collisions. To be honest, I don't even know what it's mad about. Like the only thing it could be touching is this. That's pretty much it, and the wheel, I guess. Yeah, it's annoying. I'm just gonna hope that as I build it out and add stuff, it will kind of go away. Also, I'm gonna put the engine at the front to have more weight at the front, which is usually a good idea, which obviously the real car's engine isn't at the front, but it's just for weight stuff and you're not gonna be able to see it anyway. Okay, so I moved the engine to the front because I want to have a lot of open space here where I will eventually put a lot of spoilers, because you always want a lot of downforce in the rear. Also, the sparks and everything did end up stopping, so I got pretty lucky, and hopefully there's not any like conflicts like that in the future. So yeah, you could see, yeah, I put 2 spoilers there at the rear for downforce, and you could see that I have a lot of like slopes here and stuff to make sure that like everything that's not supposed to be connected isn't connected, and then everything that is supposed to be connected is connected. And this gap here is where I'm gonna put the space thrusters, because space thrusters are very compact and powerful, so that's what I usually use for my cars, along with some like small thrusters or regular thrusters, I guess they're. And at the rear, the real car has this like ginormous diffuser, which this game does not have like working diffusers, but I can imitate the look of a diffuser by just like building one. I think I'll use like I'll use these things with like that curved diffuser look. And then here in the middle there's like a thing sticking out, and I will make that with 2 of these. To be honest, I think this car looks very good so far, so what I'm gonna do right now, copy what's on this side onto this side, and then after that work on the aerodynamics and performance and everything. Okay, so right now it's going 179, which is actually pretty slow. So I definitely have a lot of improving to do. Yeah, so it goes from like 234 to 240 245, something like that. So slight difference. Okay, so at this point here's what the car looks like. Now I think I'll decal all of those like yellow highlights, and after that I'm gonna be finished, I think. Pretty much the final design. So I think there's only one more thing to do, which is to race it and basically see how fast it goes. Okay, so I think if it goes anywhere below 130, I'll be happy. Yeah, I'll race it, and then if it doesn't do as well as I think, I might just adjust the active aero to be more aggressive if it's not aggressive enough. But yeah, let's see. So as soon as I started testing this car, I realized that for one reason or another, it was actually terrible at turning. And you can see here where I would either have to slow down a lot, or I would just crash into the wall when trying to turn. And at first I edited the usual things, like the steering angle and the angle of the fins at the front, but nothing would seem to help. And after completing the track, the time I ended up getting was over 140, which was way slower than my goal of under 130. To be honest, I was really confused by this issue, since I've never really encountered an issue like this before, where the car just wouldn't turn no matter what I did. And I spent a lot of time trying to figure out why this was happening, but I just could not figure it out. I like spent literally hours on this. And then eventually I decided to try out one of my other cars, which I knew was good at turning, to see if it would turn. So I tested out this Diablo, and just like I expected, it was turning just fine, like it always was. But another interesting thing I noticed when testing out the Diablo is on every turn, it was leaning much more. And at first I didn't really pay attention to this, since usually your car leaning is not really a good thing. But then I realized what was happening. When the car was trying to lean, the front of the Aston Martin was scraping the ground, which was causing it to turn way less. And so the fix to this was just making sure the front had more clearance so the car would turn better. So after fixing the issue, the car was turning way better, and in fact it was actually even oversteering. So I had to come up with a way to add even more downforce to the rear to make it turn even faster. So I used more active aero at the rear with these little fins. So now the car had active aero all around and could basically turn really fast. And here's the fins at the rear working. So yeah, basically after this I noticed instantly a huge improvement, and the car was finally working just like I wanted it to. So then only after a few runs I ended up getting this run, which ended up being my best run. So yeah, the time I ended up getting is a little over 120, which is almost 10 seconds faster than my initial goal. So I was pretty happy with it, and overall I was pretty happy with the way that the whole car turned out. And I know that I haven't uploaded in a while, but I do plan on uploading more often in the future. So if you enjoy these kinds of videos, please subscribe to the channel so you can not miss the next ones. And also I plan on streaming on Twitch in the future, so if you want to see that, you can follow me on Twitch. The link will be in the description. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. So thank you for watching, and have a good day.